Hello, hi baby. How are you doing? I know it's been a little while since I recorded. I am still kind of getting over that cold. Um, I did make some shorts recently though, just like to keep the algorithm and the views up for my channel. If you're a content creator, I didn't realize like in order to meet the requirements for monetizing, you have to have so many views like within a year, not from the start of your channel and stuff like that. So I posted some shorts recently and I got some more hate comments, right? Which is fine. It is what it is. I posted a short dancing around in a bikini and I am not a petite, small framed woman. So I didn't really get any hate on that one that I expected. I just randomly get them. So I just made like a cute little silly short video because actually I liked the way my teeth looked in that. And I thought it was a cute filter. So I made it for TikTok and I put it on here. Whenever you upload a short, it just kind of like rockets the stuff out. YouTube wants you to make shorts. They want you to use filters. All that stuff helps the algorithm, which is kind of sad because in today's society, I think we need a lot more representation from real people, real women. I'm 37 years old. I'm not thin, but I am beautiful, happy, comfortable with myself, right? Love myself. So I can handle it. It's hard for me to talk with my husband about it because it's too close to home, like he gets offended if anybody tries to attack me, obviously, right? Same way I would be for him. So I can see the anxiety in his face when I show him or tell him about about the mean comments I get. But yeah, it was called ugly, right? But whatever. But the whole point of me bringing this up is I want to talk about, like, there's just mean people, awful people that, especially if you worked in a restaurant, you know this, or customer service, that want to just come in and yell at you because they're having a bad day or because the wait's too long or whatever the heck their problem is, right? I just seen this happen at a McDonald's too, so I want to talk about that a little bit. I just had a feeling because it was so slow and there was a bunch of people waiting for stuff and the drive-thru's running, and it was an off time, so it wasn't like lunch or dinner time. It was like 2 in the afternoon, 2:30 in the afternoon. And I had a feeling, I had my phone out and I was sitting a lot of people were just standing there like cattle, but I mean, this wait was like 30, 40 minutes. So I was sitting down at a table listening and I had my phone in my hand and I thought, no, I'm gonna have to start recording because this is gonna be a Mick fight in here. My kids are playing in the play place. My daughter kept coming out like, what are you doing, Mom? I'm still waiting for the food, honey. So somebody came in and started. There was actually a table with children out there too in the lobby. And this guy comes in and he's like, 30 effing minutes is uneffing acceptable. And I could smoke 6 bowls of weed and do a better job. Which is so funny because once you understand projections, like, tell me that you've been fired from a McDonald's or from a fast food chain, right? For being a stoner and not being able to do your job without telling me that you were fired for being a stoner that couldn't do their job. Nothing against stoners or anything. I'm just saying. And he shouted that like 4 or 5 times, which, come on now, you're mad. Everybody's mad. Everybody's upset about the wait. But why does those kids' meal need to be ruined? And it was over something so stupid too. His McDrink was filled up to here when it should have been filled up to here. So he wanted all his drinks remade. It was so annoying. Like, that was just slowing it down and making it worse for everybody else there that was waiting. And they handled it pretty professionally. There was no like make fight. But then he left and came back in again. And I was like, oh my goodness. But I just went into the play place because my order was up. So what? As within, so without, as above, so below. So whatever you notice is going on outside of the world is a reflection of what's going on inside of you, and probably vice versa, right? That's the way it works. So whatever I notice is going on in the outside world could take some time to self-reflect and look inward, or what I'm noticing in my own personal world may be going on in the outside world with others, like with you guys. So the way people critique and comment on these videos like they're qualified to do so is kind of sickening. So if the scenario was you are walking down a busy street and there's an artist out there playing music and you don't care for it, it's not your cup of tea, would you come up to that person and say, that was really cringe? That music is not my cup of tea. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't say anything. You would just move along or not tip them or not interact with them, right? If it was an artist painting something, you wouldn't in the street go up to them or meet the artist of a piece of work and say, oh, you call this art? I don't like this. But people love to do that on the internet like it's their job, right? It's not. I'm not here for you guys to critique me. Sorry, no offense. Maybe if you're a successful YouTuber, maybe if you make content, or if it's a helpful suggestion, or if it is constructive criticism. An example would be, I really miss when you used to use the dice or the charms. Could you bring more of that back, please? That's acceptable, but I think you should practice more before you talk because you have too many errors. That shit I'm not looking for. Sorry, not sorry, not sorry. There are lots of readers, lots of content on here. Even if something pops up, and the reason I'm talking about it too is so that you guys can do better. So if somebody pops up and they're styling an outfit and you say you're interested, you're watching it, and then they put on something and you think it ruins the whole look, you don't need to comment that ruined the whole look, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That's you don't need to say anything. You're not wearing it. They're wearing it, right? And it's one thing if we ask, because I've noticed too, if I say, leave some comments, let me know how you feel about this, I don't get a lot of interaction, right? But when I do a short 30-second clip, I get all kinds of crazy interactions from people. One of them said, this is funny too, this is cute. I made a short just singing, right? I liked the way my teeth looked. It was short. I tried to do like, I love you kind of message for misfits or outcasts. And someone said, and as I'm looking at it editing, I'm like, oh, my eyes look kind of crazy here, right? I have like one squinty eye. My face is not super, what do they call that? Where it's like mirrored. It's not, one squintier. That it looks like two different faces stuck together on a head. So, excuse me. And I thought, oh, should I edit this out? Should I do like a fade and nothing and back up so you don't have to see that part of my face? And I thought, no, it's goofy. It's silly. It's supposed to be a goofy, silly video. Who cares? Within a couple minutes of posting it, one of the comments was, please don't pause it when she says, open my eyes. And I thought, wow, you're really reaching hard to try to burn me, try to diss me, right? Did you have to pause it? It's a 30-second video. Did you have to pause it frame by frame and see an unflattering pose or something that you could point out? How miserable of a person do you need to be to do that? You don't need to say anything. You don't need to comment on it. As a matter of fact, when you do comment on it, that algorithm thinks, oh, they're interacting. They really like this. And it's going to show you more of that stuff. And then you see stupid people crying on the internet like, why does my phone keep showing me this nasty, gross stuff? Because you can't keep your mouth shut about it because you're critiquing it like it's your job and it's your area of expertise. And that's all you're going to freaking see on there. Okay. So anyways, when I'm in my dark feminine like this, I don't think I'm going to be channeling a ton of like really hopeful messages for you, but I did already do some like pre-channeling and wrote stuff down. So we'll do that. We'll go over that for the collective message. And then I also have some more stuff. It was just 99 on the clock, 909 and 911. So there's some angel numbers for you if you want to look them up. Here's another thing. Okay. So if any of you are considering being a content creator or being a reader or anything, I know I started following a lot of readers before I did my own thing, see how people do different things, get some creative insight. I try to give them credit, list them in the description, talk about them, show them to you guys. If I win this $1.5 billion lotto that's coming up tonight, I even have them on the list of people, we have like, me and my husband already thought about this or whatever. Be like, you got to think like a billionaire to be a billionaire. And we already have a list of if we ever came across a big chunk of money of who we would donate and where we would help in the community, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I have some readers that would be getting big donations if I win or if we win. But one of the comments said, okay, someone came and said cringe, and they were like, if you don't want feedback, just turn off your comments. No. Why should content creators be afraid of bullies and to block it so nobody can say nothing nasty? I did a video dancing in my bikini. I didn't have one nasty comment. I do a 30-second short singing a song, lip syncing a song, and I got a bunch of hate on there. If it's not for you, just don't watch it. Move along. And I did say that if you go back and read, I'll put it in the description. I'll put the video. We went back and forth for a long time. And I said, no, I'd rather confront bullies head on and say what I got to say because, I mean, I can make a bully cry. You can try to be mean to me. You can try to hurt my feelings. Don't be surprised if your feelings get hurt in the freaking process. So, but yeah, no, I'm not going to turn off comments and be afraid that someone's going to say something negative. I'm also not going to let people say crazy stuff to me. No, you don't need to say cringe. You can just not watch it. You don't need to try to burn me. You can try to bully me and be mean to me. Then maybe you need somebody to humble you. Light some more sage. Okay. So when I channeled these messages, I started watching a movie. I believe it was on Hulu. It was one about the Amish, so a scary story. And we'll go over those channel messages right after I get some more sage going in here. So I did not finish the whole movie. I stopped, but I did get some names and I got some messages out of that. And then I have been watching, I found some American Horror Story seasons that I haven't seen yet. So I didn't do any writing, but I did channel some stuff that I want to see if it relates to any of this and talk about it. Okay. So these are names that could resonate in your situation. It could be your name. It could be a person talking about you's name, someone close to you's name. It could be some kind of confirmation from spirit. If it don't apply to your situation, then just let it fly. This isn't a private personal reading, but this may resonate with some of you. The name Connor, Esther, Dave, AJ, Holmes, Will, Isaac, Ruthie, Eva, or Iva, and Katie Ann. Places: Manhattan, Holmes County, Ohio, Indiana. Massachusetts came up a lot in Cape Cod in the American Horror Story, and I believe it was California and Hollywood. Well, and Hollywood was also in American Horror Story, and it's double feature. That's the season I just watched. I watched the first feature. I didn't watch the second one yet. And then we also, as a family, my family watched the new Hellraiser, 1313 on the clock. So angel number 1313, if you want to go under your search engine and look that up. And before that, I was into a lot of True Blood. So there wasn't a ton of blood in this show, but blood was a big theme. I think it's called Red Tide or something in American Horror Story, where they're in Cape Cod. True Blood is all about the blood. And then in Hellraiser, it's actually a puzzle. And I know I seen this when I was a kid, but I couldn't really remember the plot at all. I just knew that it was kind of based off of a little bit like Pandora's Box or the evils of the world being in this box. And then they open it up and they get stuck in the puzzle. It gets their blood and they get stuck in the puzzle. If they can beat the puzzle, they can choose which power they want. And I'm not sure where that was supposed to take place, but it seemed kind of like Hollywood, like California, maybe, or West Coast. So we got East Coast, West Coast. Those could be two locations that are of significance. I know True Blood is the South, or Louisiana, or the Gulf Coast. Okay, so in this show, this sect of the Amish are very reclusive. So you could be very reclusive or private, or this could be talking about somebody that's very reclusive, private, that lives in a place that has no phone service. Could be somebody could live off the land because they're Amish. There's 13 different sects of these Amish, and we just had angel number 1313 before too. So 13, sex, number 13 could be of significance, could be born on the 13th. Something could be happening on the 13th. So tattoos, to the Amish, they're the mark of the beast. They tell them they need to cover their tattoos. Then I've only heard this pronounced Bruja, but in this show they say Braha, I believe. So there are, in this show anyways, Amish Brahas. Okay. Specifically, there's like a grandmother or an elder to some of the main, sorry about that, to some of the, not that you're going to get a whole lot from this chicken scribble. There's probably, excuse me, there's probably some errors in there too. Okay, so their grandma was the Braha. She ends up passing away though. She was shunned by the community. All the practitioners of it get shunned from the community. People think you're interesting, that's why they stare. Okay, Braha or Braha's apprentice. So somebody could be a Bruja, a Braha. It could run in their like matriarchal line, or through their mother's line, through their mother's the lineage, or your grandmother. She describes them as healers, caregivers into natural medicine. I am shunned. My gifts are strong. God works through me, and I am willing to sacrifice for it. So somebody could be going through some shunning or some being outcasted for their spiritual gifts or for their spirituality, for their healing abilities. For me, there is nothing else. I have this gift and I feel a need to help. How can you help if you're shunned? They come in the shadows of the night. They only ignore us in daylight when other people are around. Blood means nothing when you're shunned. And then there's a black funeral. So this black funeral is giving her an improper burial. So somebody could be, or a grandmother, could feel there was like an improper burial of a grandmother or a relative, or they're afraid of for themselves. It will be in like in an unmarked grave. The body probably isn't prepared. It isn't prayed over. They believe that it can't make it into the afterlife. It's actually bringing up in my mind's eye too, if you've ever, I think it's called The Whooping Boy. I had to read it in school when I was a kid, and I'm not even sure. It's probably on the Scholastic book list or whatever. Maybe it's like a taboo, shunned book now. But in the story, at the beginning, he's at a funeral and they make these like sin pies. They make a pie where all the sin of the person, and you have to have someone to eat it so that you're light enough to go into the afterlife. And so they eat their, I would be impressed if it was grandmother, but I don't remember. If you do remember, that'd be cool. Leave it in the comments. Yeah, but he eats someone's pie and then he has no one to eat his pie. He's afraid about that when he passes away. So somebody could be afraid of maybe not having the means or the money for a proper burial or funeral, or even enough attendance. Just really getting screwed in life and in death because of their spiritual gifts and doing God's work. So let me see what else I can think of that I channeled from watching these shows. I know in Hellraiser, they're like angels or extraterrestrials or interdimensional beings, right, that are in charge of this puzzle that come out, and everything they say is a trick. So that could be like a rumor people are saying about you, or not true too, that you think you're doing God's work, but you're really being tricked by demons, by the devil, by evil. Okay, and then in Red Tide, from the double feature, American Horror Story, it is, it's so good. I just love American Horror Story. They're like vampires again, right? Except for the backstory and how they become vampires is a chemist who used to work for the government, which is funny too because all of my hate comments were coming from somebody with the name FBI something something something. But then they also had like Federal Bureau of Investigation stamp on there, so it didn't say like, you know, like it was a, what do they call that, acronym for, is that what it's called? Like female body inspector or something cheesy like that, did say FBI on there. So this person creates a pill, and what it'll do is if you are talented or have creative genius, it breaks it, like fires up all the neutrons in those, or protons, neutrons, I don't know, no. The electromagnetic connections in a certain part of the brain so that you really unlock your creative potential and your success. And it really turns into power too. I would recommend really, I mean, I don't know the ending of this one. What was this called? Did I even write it down? I sure didn't. Excuse me. It was on Halloween, the Halloween tab. Something about Amish. Ooh, I don't know. But, so this one I can't really vouch for. I mean, it's just a little creepy. It pretty much was only like 40 minutes in or something, but I would definitely recommend Red Tide. Ooh, even the vampire look is going off of like really old Hollywood vampire aesthetic, you know? Like looks like Uncle Fester with shoulder pads, white, pale. Which anything that I'm channeling and coming out to, use your discernment and stuff too. So maybe someone's going as a vampire for Halloween. Maybe somebody just got a new trench coat with shoulder pads, or they're looking kind of pale, or somebody could be going as Uncle Fester. It says blood means nothing when you're shunned. And also an American Horror Story, the little girl who's homeschooled and is a little music prodigy. She sees her dad taking these pills, which gives you the bloodthirst, in a sense, kind of vampirizes, is that a word? The person. It also gives them the bloodthirst, whether or not they are the creative genius they think they are. So they think they have talent and they take it. It turns them into a kind of disassociated, bloodthirsty, and versus a very honed in creative genius, bloodthirsty monster. But the girl's mother has a baby, and she's very freaked out that the little girl tries to feed from the newborn. She gets cut, and her husband hungrily sucks the blood from her finger. So she's very freaked out, spooked by it. The little girl says, come on, Daddy, let's just let her in on it. We know you're going to be great. We know you got talent. Be one of us. Take this pill. But then when the mom's not around, the little girl's saying to the dad, like, she's holding us back. We need to just get rid of her. She's people like them with no creative genius that can't make nothing are, oh, okay, here's another parallel too. In my back and forth with this person, they're, you know, they called me ugly, and I was like, you know, if you're so good looking, why don't you just make your own content? And he said, I don't make my content because I don't want to. And I said, or it's because you can't, right? Because you don't have anything interesting to say but going and spreading hate on other people's stuff. So the little girl wants to get rid of the mom. It's almost like blood in that sense. I mean, it's funny because blood to them is everything, but blood is in your lineage means nothing to these people. They're more power hungry and success hungry. I think I'm going to leave the channeling right there, but let me get some affirmations before you leave, baby. Some stuff that we can focus on, you can focus on to make the most of your day, the most of your experience here. I don't want to lower anybody's vibes. I know I'm in a little funky of a mood. I mean, I knew that was part of the job that's going to come here. I just wish that everyone didn't think that they need to be such harsh, critiquers of other people's art or other people's content, especially on somebody else's platform. Now, if it wasn't my platform and I designed a show for Netflix and Netflix shows, what do you think of this show? And you can say, it's cringe. I found this very unappealing. That's fine. But when it's, I'm here to connect with like-minded people or people that want to respectfully bounce ideas off of each other. I'm not looking to be critiqued and for you to tell me you don't like what I do. If you don't like what I do, lots of other people do it. Go make friends with them. Today I am capable. Today I will accomplish every goal that I set for myself. So it's going to be a productive, happy day, week, month, year. Amen. Today I am respectful. We also talked about respect in there. I'm going to put the link on there if you want to read through them just for entertainment purposes. You know, get your popcorn. Everybody loves to read. And I don't want to perpetuate more hate. I don't need anybody to jump in and defend me. I like to do that myself or for other people. I think it's very obvious this person's a bozo, a talentless bozo. Today I'm respectful. Today I will acknowledge other people's thoughts and feelings as well as my own. A black funeral. Maybe somebody has to go to a funeral soon. Or wear black for a somber event of some kind. Let me know if any of this resonates with you in the comments. I don't expect people to express themselves like perfect. It's not that I don't want you guys to give me criticism, but it's another thing if you watch 20 seconds of me lip syncing and you have something mean or nasty to say, or you know, you don't watch any of my content and then you show up to say cringe. No, nobody needs that. It's not constructive criticism in any way. It's just you coming to be an a-hole to, I don't know, upset me or to feel self-important. Today I am responsible. I will make good choices that will bring me health and happiness. Today I will breathe, which is, I'm going to go do some breathing exercises after this and sage more of my house. Today I will breathe. I will face challenges. Wait, if you watch me, I always stumble on how this is worded. Today I will breathe. Today, as I face challenges, I will call a mental timeout. I will consciously breathe with my eyes closed and focus on slowing my inhalation and exhalation. Oh, one more juicy nugget. This makes me think of, I shared something on my my private Facebook recently, and it was just talking about God's name. I want to do maybe I'll just offer it as like a seminar you can purchase through Gumroad or something, but I did a deep dive into the power of your name. And they were saying that Moses had the audacity to ask God what his name was because there were other gods that were worshipped before. So they said, well, what is your name? And it was YHWH, which there are lots of people or, you know, different groups of Christians, religions that pronounce it Yahweh. But they were saying that human beings were just looking at it and thinking, well, which vowels would most likely be, this must be an error, or whatever they thought. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but originally in the Hebrew part of the Bible, it says YHWH. And this lady said it literally is the sound of inhalation and exhalation, which correlates within the Bible, speaking things into existence, giving them a name, you know, saying, let there be light, and now there is light because he spoke it into existence with the breath when he was saying, you know, so it's the oneness God that connects all of us. So in a sense, I guess when we do breath work and we meditate and we breathe, we are calling God's name. centering ourselves and connecting with the divine within, the divine spark, the divinity that we are. So I'm going to go do some breathing exercises. I love you so much, baby. Until next time, bye-bye.